Today, we're taking a look at the new Stalingrad diver called Kursk. I featured Stalingrad years ago with their more original design that had their stencil font dial and hollowed out hands, and it was a great looking and very original watch. With this, they went down a safer route by doing their own take on a Panerai styled diver with a California dial. California dials are ones where one half of the dial is done with Roman numerals and the other half is done with Arabics, presumably to make it impossible to confuse one for the other. Although I never really saw the point, as most California dials, this one included, have such big and bold numerals, you would have to be half blind to read the time incorrectly. This one, with applied lume as the markers, is one of the most legible I have seen. The whole watch is massive and commands a lot of wrist presence. With a 45mm diameter, I was sure it would not work on my wrist and would end up looking comical. But the faux wire lug design and a cushion case also make it pretty short lug to lug relative to its size. So despite still being too big for my taste, it can work on a wrist as small as mine, which is 6.5 inches. The bronze case works well with the dark green dial, but I wish they kept everything in the same tone on the outside. Like this, with a steel bezel that has been coated in this brass color, and the crown in another, you end up having 3 different colors on the case itself, not counting the hands that have a 4th shade of bronze or brass, and the buckle, which is like the 5th. Case being bronze, it will develop patina over time, so maybe with time, the case comes closer in tone to the bezel, but I doubt it will ever match it. I would have preferred if they made the bezel bronze like the case, but that's just my opinion. The dial I already mentioned is dark green, but what makes it unusual is the texture that looks almost like paper, and I like that. It's not boring because of it. The date opening is a small circle at 3 o'clock, and I'm kinda torn about it. It is a useful complication, but I think the watch would have looked better without it. Luckily, due to the size of the watch, it is placed next to the 3 o'clock marker, not cutting into it. So the markers are perfectly symmetrical, something I appreciate, especially in the dark. The hands are massive, but seem just a tad too short for my taste, at least the minute one. That, however, doesn't affect legibility, as they're easy to read and distinguish, and with the amount of lume both hands and markers have, the watch is easily readable all night long. The bezel, on the other hand, has no markers nor lume, and only comes with rivets for every 10-minute mark. It doesn't bother me, as it is more a design choice than a functional part, but despite that, the grip is excellent and action and alignment really good. The watch is powered by a Miyota 821A, which is a hacking variant of the entry-level Miyota 8200 series, and while in specs it matches the Seiko NH35, due to the indirectly driven seconds hand, you will occasionally see the seconds hand jump ahead and wait for the gear train to catch up with it as you shake the watch. It doesn't affect the timekeeping, but just wanted to mention it as some people are bothered by it. As expected on these types of bronze watches, the strap is a very thick and very wide leather, with an equally massive buckle. Despite its size, it is soft and pliable and quite comfortable, while the upper has an abuck leather feel and look, which works great with the bronze case, but obviously if you mean to get this wet, you will have to switch to either a rubber strap or a nylon one. With a price of just a tad over $200, the watch is spec'd as expected, while the design is based on one of the most popular watches of the last decade. Despite being clearly inspired by Panerai, it has enough original elements to not be called a blatant copy. If you like a more colorful bronze watch, this one is right for you, as it looks like a mix of different metals due to so many color differences between parts. I like it, but would prefer a more cohesive design with more uniform materials. What I do like is the way it wears. Just like the Boltony Pilot I reviewed, it doesn't look comical on my small wrist, but still captures the oversized diver look and feel. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video,